I'm a designer. I've been a designer for like 10 years. I've been working in tech, so I've been making apps and websites and that kind of thing for a long time. And of course, I'd get bored of the day-to-day that I was doing. So every now and then I'd want to do a side project or something like that. And usually like my thinking was that I'd just go straight to like another app. Oh, let me come up with this app idea. And I kept doing that over and over, and it got to the point where it's just like, man, I'm so jaded on just making apps and whatever. I'm kind of like sick of technology. So it just occurred to me that like there's so much to design that I should just step out of this realm of like tech and work on something else in like another facet of design. And I love fashion. So I was just like, man, let me take a stab at this. I don't even know what really made me do it, but I'm like, man, let me design a t-shirt. So the idea behind Navigate, it's kind of a complex answer, but it was my own narrative on my viewpoint of life, which is like this big grand answer, but I could try to explain it simply. Is growing up, I grew up in a lot of kind of chaotic upbringing. I put myself in situations where there are a lot of odds stacked against me, but I was determined to find a way to make things happen. And to me, a lot of that was navigation. It was understanding people, it was understanding the way that things work, and as long as I could do that, I could kind of present myself or present arguments or ideas that I had, try to get people bought into them by recognizing the situation, understanding the people, and navigating the situation. I mean, it's a simple answer. It's not as simple to do, but it's just make shit. Just make shit. Make shit with whatever means you have. So if it's just that you want to design a t-shirt and mock it up on paper or in Photoshop or something like that, and you could go down to like a screen printing shop that'll do one-offs. Just make one. Make one. It feels so much different to have something in your hand that like, I had this for my head and now I've got this in my hands, and I think it helps propel you to like, it gives you this realization that, oh shit, like I made this thing, I could make more. In my mind, and this comes from my background of design, and it's not even just about fashion. And really, it's not even just about design. It's about, it's like a bigger philosophy of life in general. But so much of life, might be the biggest thing in life, is presentation. Presentation is everything. A lot of times it can be more important than the idea or the concept itself, is how it's presented. Thinking about packaging, thinking about the whole experience when you open a box. How does it make you feel? What emotions does it invoke in somebody? I mean, you could have a t-shirt. This is what I did, is I made some t-shirts, and instead of just sending somebody a t-shirt like, you know, in a poly bag or something like that, I wanted to have a hard box that they could open. So not just like a packing box, but like, you know, inside the cardboard shipping box, they would open it. There'd be a nice hard box with some branding on it. They'd open it. I made these little like silk bags with the logo on it, and then they'd pull it out of there, and it would be like, man, this is a high quality thing. Really, like, if you put in an effort to find something or make something happen, you can 100% make it happen. One of the biggest things that stops people from actually doing something is just obviously like fear. It's like this big mental hurdle that like, oh, this is a big grand idea that like I can start making clothes and like actually getting it out there. There's so much work to be done, but it's just all incremental. It's just like, hey, I made that shirt, I shared it with some people. Now, like, you know, maybe somebody wants to buy one. How am I going to give it to them? Maybe throw it in a box, give them like a little bag. From there, it's, you know, let me make more in case more people want to end up buying them. I actually I didn't go to design school. In fact, I didn't even graduate high school. I made it to about the 10th grade, and I was just like, man, this is not for me. So getting into the design world, I was sitting next to a lot of people who had a more traditional training, whatever, and along the way had, you know, made a couple friends or whatever, so had some kind of connections. I just went to a lot of meetups, conferences, like places that I knew people would be, and I just started talking to them and like, what can I learn from you? It's not like, here's what I'm doing or whatever. I was just like, what do you wish you knew when you were starting out that you could share with me? And like 99% of the time, people are happy to like tell you their experience and like help you out. And that's led to a lot of my, you know, the success that I've had within design as a whole. But it's the same approach that I'm taking with this whole thing. It's just connecting with as many people as possible and just asking them like, hey, I know nothing. What can you tell me? For me, though, when it comes to making things, first of all, I think it's just going to be insanely hard, maybe impossible. Some people would say impossible to replicate the success of some of these brands. There's no formula to like supreme success or, you know, off-white success. Obviously, you know, there was prominence or whatever in a lot of these designers, but there's just so many elements at play that something catches fire and you know, goes into the hype world. If somebody's approaching it that way, it's gonna be a million times harder than it is if you just like making stuff. You've got something in your head, you want to make it real. I just make what I want to make. I like, you know.